Now, the first concentration camps that we're going to talk about, it's important to remember that these were not originally built for the Jewish people. These are going to be built for other groups of people, and it's only a few years later that the idea of the Holocaust, where millions and millions of Jews were rounded up and killed, the Holocaust itself happened. But these very first concentration camps were built for other groups of people. Now, the very first one that we know about that was built in Germany in Dachau in 1933. It was built for political prisoners who really were too vocal in their opposition to Hitler and the Nazi Party. Essentially, these were people that disagreed with Hitler, they disagreed with what the Nazis were doing, and they were vocal about it, either by speaking out against it or writing about it, or just sometimes even just very silly, just a joke was enough to send you to one of these camps. Now, originally, this first camp here, it included communists, people that were members of the Communist Party. That would get you sent to the camp. It also included social democrats. Again, these would be people that would be outspoken against Hitler and his grab for power and what he was doing, and they would be in opposition, and they would be sent to the camps. And then also two other dissidents. If you don't fall in one of those camps, but generally speaking, if you were opposed to Hitler and to his Nazi Party, that would get you thrown into a camp. Now, it's interesting to note that these people, they were people who were in the minority, and they were unpopular with most German citizens. So very few, if anyone, ever spoke up for these unpopular groups of people. And this goes back to that quote that I shared with you a few moments ago, that the idea that if you didn't speak up because it was just another group, eventually would come to a point where you were taken and nobody was left to speak for you. Now, these camps, this was, of course, not the only camp. There's going to be other camps that emerge. And these are going to be people who do not fit into Nazi society. And of course, they're soon going to be removed and sent to camps. And these are going to include homosexual males. They'll include Jehovah's Witness. It's a religious group. They're going to be women who are accused of prostitution. They would be rounded up, and instead of being given tickets or being thrown in jail, they were rounded up and put into these camps. And then ultimately, you're going to see homeless people. Because you know what? Hitler and his Nazi Party thought that this was a blight on society and that it was not respectful, did not show well to what he was trying to produce there in Germany. So these homeless, as well as these other groups, would be rounded up and put into these camps.